Camel in Antarctica by me. I celebrate my birthday 10 hours after its actual time because I was born on the other side of the world. I'm an Uzbek who had moved to the States about 6 years ago on the brink of my preteen era, unaware of the salient problems ravaging our world. To little me, America was a paradise where my mother would no longer have to work night after night, baking pies and making cookies just to sell them for less than they were worth. Nor my father wouldn't have to be at the airport overnight sitting by a computer, fixing malfunctions, not being able to sit at the dinner table with his wife and children. It was more like a concept than a place, a feeling of freedom and security. How innocent a child mind can be. On the big day, I was dressed in a t-shirt that felt too short, trousers that fit too tight, carrying my school backpack filled with everything special, everything that fit. After a 17-hour flight from Tashkent to New York and drinking an unhealthy amount of orange juice, courtesy of the flight attendants, I'd been graced with the sight of buildings that disappeared into the clouds, streets covered with finished asphalt, and people who did not look like me. Maybe at the time, I thought it was cool that everyone minded their own business and that the social norms were less restrictive than what I had been used to. Maybe I felt proud when sitting in classrooms where the flags that hung in the front right corner of the room were white, red, and blue, different than the blue, red, white, and green I remember from my elementary years. Perhaps the conceited Uzbek in me even bragged to friends about having partially forgotten her native language. Foolish is what I was. Now that I think back on it, it might have been because I was envied, a figure of adoration for Uzbek people who dreamed of living my life in America. How lucky you are, they told me. You know, many people wish they were in your place. Perhaps I felt pressured to love it here because I knew they would. As my hair grew longer and my dresses got smaller, my longing outweighed everything else. Night after night, I imagined myself sitting in the little garden in the courtyard of our old house. My mind took me to the miniature breads my siblings and I used to make out of clay and how we left them under the spot to dry under the burning sun. I remembered having taken care of our 100 or so chickens, always having to be reminded to feed them their usual menu, purslane with a side of corn. At times, I even missed the knobbly and potholed surface of our little street, rid of smooth asphalt. There are parts of my life I never thought to savor, which I now reminisce like people miss summer during winter, even though they used to complain about it. I've grown fond of summer. 3 years of America, and I had already had enough. On the announcement of our travel back, I didn't know what to put in my backpack, so I put everything I wouldn't need. During my trip to Uzbekistan back in 2021, I heard my cousins talk about weddings they've been to and the matching dresses they wore. I saw the way my grandmothers caressed the heads of their grandchildren with their thinning skin. I ate naan straight from the tandoor. I felt the sun kiss my forehead every day of summer, and I knew I'd missed out on the promise of a true Uzbek childhood. The connection between the people, how strangers treated each other like brothers and sisters when all my 5th grade classmates showed up for a reunion, the warmth in everyone's eyes wherever I went, that's what I'd missed. Before I left, I tried to take in everything unique to my country, the curved and uneven roads, brimming with fathers and mothers and their children treading along hand in hand, the smell of food anywhere people were gathered, shouting and thumping of kids playing tag around the dusty streets, the way the sun crept above the horizon as if it felt bad for ending the day too soon. The very life I got to see in every wrinkle and curled corners of fun faces familiar. So content was I, so young again. Time passed without letting me know, and I was so absorbed in the peace of being home that I forgot I was only there temporarily, like a tourist, a stranger, a guest in my own town. Once the 1-month trip was over, I flew back, continuing my days as usual. Wake up, write about my renderings of life, and wait for the next time I can go back. Ever since then, I felt empty as a room without people, and as lonely as a camel in the Antarctica, far from its caravan. Thank you.